We're going to take a look at reviewing the surface area and volume of a cylinder. Okay, so we're going to take a look at finding the surface area of the cylinder. Remember that the surface area formula is 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h, and this will be made available for you when you take your test. The first step, remember, always start by writing down the formula. So I'm going to write down surface area is equal to 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. All right, remember we're plugging in what we know and we're solving for what we don't. So we're looking for the surface area, and we have 2 times, remember pi is 3.14. And then I'm going to plug in my radius. Remember radius is half of the diameter, so that's the 9. So I'm going to have 9 squared plus 2 times 3.14, oops, I'm running out of room, times our radius of 9, and then our height, which is 10. So now we need to use our calculators to simplify. And so surface area is equal to 2 times 3.14 times 9 squared is equal to 508.68, and then I'm going to do the same over here, 2 times 3.14 times 9 times 10, and I'm going to get 565.2. And now we just need to finish it by adding those two together. And so your surface area then, when you add those two together, is 1073.88. And because we're talking about surface area, it's going to be feet squared. In our next example, we're going to be finding the volume. Remember, volume is equal to big B times H, and that big B is the area of the base, and the area of the base, remember, is pi r squared. So volume is equal to pi r squared H. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to plug in what we know and solve for what we don't. So volume is equal to, then we have 3.14. Remember, our radius here is 5. If you're given the diameter, remember, you need to find half of that. So I'm going to have 5 squared, and then my height is equal to 7. All right, so we're going to plug it in our calculators. And our total then, volume is going to be equal to 549.5. And then since we are looking for volume, it's going to be millimeters cubed. All right, so in this case, we're given the volume, we have the radius, and we're looking for the height. So again, we're going to start with our formula. Volume is equal to big B times H, and that big B is just pi r squared, and then we'll have times the H. All right, so let's plug in what we know and we'll solve for what we don't. So I have the volume of 706.5 is equal to then 3.14, and we know that our radius is 5 and squared. And then what we don't have though is the H. So now we need to then take and multiply our 3.14, because we're just simplifying everything on the right, so that then we can solve for that H, times 5 squared, and I'm going to have, so 706.5 is equal to 78.5, and then we have H. All right, so now we're going to, we want to get that H all by itself. So to get the H all by itself, since it's multiplying it, we're going to divide both sides. All right, so I will take then 706.5 divided by, divided by 78.5, and I'm going to have our height then is equal to 9, and that would be 9, centimeters, because we're just looking for the height. All right, so in this review lesson, we took a look at finding surface area and for finding volume, and then also undoing to find the height of the cylinder.